I can close this. It's on YouTube anyway. Okay. Show them how to get to different places. Ask people in here. Sorry.
Hi guys. Hi guys. Can you guys hear and see me clearly? Sorry, I have a ulcer on my tongue, so I have to speak really slowly through the webinar today. So please bear with me. Right. Hi Rahim. Hi David. Hi John. Okay, for today's session, let us give the rest of the attendees a couple more minutes before I start. Right. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Okay, I'm tuning in from, I'm speaking from Singapore, and it's 6:01 p.m. on a Wednesday. Just give the rest one more minute before I start the session. So in today's webinar with IronFX, we're going to talk about correlation between different asset class as well as between different currency pairs, how the positive or negative correlation between currency pairs can help you identify your support resistance, can help you identify your trade positions, how to enter a position or when to exit, right? Hi Adeshina from Nigeria. Hi, good to see you. Thank you guys for tuning in early today. Hi April. Okay, so like I've mentioned, we're going to talk about correlation between different currency pairs, as well as across assets to improve your trading strategy, right? So let me know in the chat group or the chat box, because I can see it. I have it open on another screen, so I can see all the questions or any requests that you have for me, right? Just ask away if you have any questions. So just maybe a few more minutes before I start. Can you guys see me? My typings. In case I need to copy and paste some of the important links. Wait, let me see. Because previously when this happened, yeah, everyone, some of the attendees mentioned that they can't see or can't type. So okay, this is great. So like I've mentioned, I have an ulcer, so bear with me if I speak slowly because it's right on the right side of my tongue. So if you can't fully catch me, also let me know. I'll try my best to speak as normally as possible and as slowly as possible. Okay, so before I start the session, let me check whether I'm sharing the correct screen. You can see my screen right here. Okay, let me just share with you guys a couple of important bring you guys to a couple of important pages. So this is IronFX page. If you guys have missed the first part of the session, or you guys want to take a look at our previous webinars, right? Just come to this page here. Let me cut and paste to the chat group. Okay, you can see, right? You can see all our different you can see and register for the upcoming sessions that we are going to have. Wait, give me a second. This is not the page actually. Should be best for me. Me 1 second. Aha, here, past webinar, sorry. So this is the link. Past webinar should be here. For the previous link that I sent is for registration of upcoming webinars, and this will be for previous webinar as well as today's session that will be recorded and posted probably by end of the week. So if you guys have missed out on any parts and you want to have a refresher course or you want to rewatch the session, you can click on the link, come to this page here, click on English, and this will be the past sessions that we actually have. There are a lot of live trading sessions, support and resistance, some of the educational ones as well. So feel free to come and check it out. Okay. And then I will bring you guys to the second important page, which is our, wait, maybe I should do it here so you can see. So you can click on our VIP room here. Right. So this is a special partnership with Everest Fortune Group with IronFX, where we have this VIP trading room. So if you guys already have an account with IronFX, you can access the VIP portal depending on how much deposit you have with them. So for example, for this portal itself, you can get exclusive market forecasts where you trade and learn with our institutional and interactive grade market forecast. So most of the time, the analysts, the prop traders, as well as Desmond himself will come to the portal to create market forecasts where you can see. If you have any questions, we have an interactive chat for you to ask away. So later I'll show you guys how it works. You can actually ask any of our traders about how they think of your entry or where you should place your stop loss or take profit, etc. Right? So it's a one-on-one personal interactive chat. And you can also request for market forecast as well. So you could say things like, hey, Desmond, what do you think about USD JPY in the upcoming 2 days or upcoming 4 hours, right? So how you can access to our premium service is that we have 5 tailored account types, depending on the deposit or as well, depending on the deposit or depending on what you need from the website is from the portal itself. So if you get the platinum, you can get priority support as well as a weekly private 30-minute group call where you can discuss and analyze any of the trades. So just click on the VIP room. I'll paste the link right here. Okay, so this is our VIP portal. I'll just do a quick run through. Okay. So this is how the page look like depending on which tier you are in. So this is how the portal actually looks like. We have a chit chat section where you can come here and then you can chat with any of our traders or any of our analysts about what you think of a potential setup or what they think of a specific currency pairs. And then there's the potential setup. So once in a while, we'll come to this page and then we'll be talking about what trades we'll be looking at or what trades we are taking. Okay. Then there's the news section. Every day there will be a news update that'll be posted here. The important news, the market news, the announcements. And then there's the major pairs. Analysts and prop traders will come here and then they'll talk about, hey, so today I posted something about the DXY. When you hover about the red highlighted words, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So it won't be so confusing for our clients, right? So the same to you, if you have any questions about any currency pairs, just click on the pairs. So we have majors, commodities, indices, crypto, all the crosses as well as yeah, whatever you want, all the currency pairs. If you don't see it here, let us know. You can request for it. So you can come here and say, hi, Annabelle, I want to know if price might break this support, for example. So you can highlight the support level. You can actually draw it here, and I will know. Okay, enter. So I will know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. Hi, Rahim. Okay. Anyway, okay, so this is how the portal looks like. You can check it out. I have pasted the link on the chat, in the chat. Okay, so let us start the session today. So today's webinar series, we are going to talk about using correlation to improve your trading. So out of the attendees, does any one of you use correlation at all when you trade? For example, maybe if you are looking at USD pairs, you might look at DXY or the dollar index. Let me know in the comment section if you guys use any correlation currency pairs or across asset class to improve or to redefine your trade positions. I have a couple of answers. Some yes. Haven't done so or thought of it. Okay. This might be a good introduction for those who have not used it before. It will be a relatively simple and understandable webinar series because for some who haven't learned or who haven't thought of it, this would be a good place to start. And then, okay, so let's dive in. So before I start, disclaimer, the information in this webinar should not be considered investment advice or an investment recommendation, but instead educational material only. So before you start trading, please do your own due diligence. So this is me, I'll be today's host. I'm Annabelle. So I'm an analyst for Everest Fortune Group, which is the award-winning research firm. Finalist for Best FX Research 1920 and 21. Finalist for Best Equity Research 2020 and 2021. So the agenda for today, let me grab my pen. So agenda for today, we are talking about correlation between different currency pairs and maybe different asset class as well. So we're going to have a brief understanding of what is correlation, understanding positive and negative correlation, strong versus weak, correlation across multiple time frames because there are you have your daily chart, you have a H4, H1, and then you have your 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, okay, etc. So correlation across multiple time frames might differ because of the different time frames. Okay. Using correlation to identify support and resistance as well as breakout. Then I will move on to live charts. Sorry, my horrendous handwriting. Okay, but anyway, so what is correlation in layman term? Can anyone of you let me know? What do you guys understand about correlation? Is there only positive correlation, negative? Is there a neutral? What's the understanding of correlation in your knowledge? Okay, it's relationship between the currency pairs, yes. I do not understand. Okay, no worries. So what exactly is correlation? Correlation measures the relationship between two currency pairs. Okay, for example, to put it simply, correlation is like a relationship. So for example, when there's COVID, what do you think is the correlation between COVID and let me find a good one, and pharmaceuticals and pharma stocks. Is it a good correlation, meaning COVID cases rise, pharma stock also rise, right? Because pharma stocks, pharmacies, pharma companies, they have to produce more test kits. They have to produce more medication. They have to produce more manpower as well, right? So in general, pharma stocks shoot up because the government has to pump in more money as well. So the relationship, the correlation between COVID and pharma stock is positive because both of them go up together in sync. Okay, that is a positive correlation. And a negative correlation means COVID versus maybe the amount of ice cream you eat, right? So it doesn't matter whether I have COVID or not. It doesn't make a difference to the ice cream I eat. So it's a negative correlation. Means COVID cases go up. It doesn't mean that my ice cream might go up. Okay, maybe this is a neutral. Okay, I would say that this is a neutral. In this case, neutral. Maybe COVID and let me think. Negative correlation. Okay. For example, tourism. This is definitely a negative correlation because during COVID, during the pandemic, nobody is allowed to travel, right? So when your COVID cases go up, definitely your tourism will come down. So this is a negative correlation. So we have positive, we have the non-bias, which is on the neutral ground. We have a negative correlation. Okay, I wonder here. Bear with me because I have an ulcer, so I might speak a little slower. Okay, so there's three types of correlation, which is the positive, the negative, as well as the neutral. Right? It's quite easily understandable. So between currency pairs, let me erase all my. Okay, so in FX itself, some currency actually move in tandem, meaning together. So one will go up, the other one will follow very closely, or maybe one go up this way, one will follow quite closely. So there are two types. One is very strong, and then one is just maybe not as strong, but still positive. Okay, so same goes to the negative. There's a very strong negative correlation, which is they move in tandem. And there is some that is, oh, sorry. Very strong means directly opposite. Okay, ignore this. This is wrong. So very strong means very opposite. And then some that are maybe not so strong. Okay, but still negative correlation. So there are different types. I hope my COVID example was very clear. Later on, I'll give you some example and I'll show it in the live charts how some currency pairs are correlated or not correlated. So different types of correlation. So can you guys name me some of the pairs? Let me get my pen. Okay, maybe we start positive. So can you guys name me some of the different types of or if you guys know of any positive or negative correlated currency pairs? Okay, most of you said that. Nope. Oh, okay. XAU USD, yes, correct. Yeah, they are negatively correlated, correct. Okay, so the different types of correlation are some are within FX pairs. For example, your GBP, USD, GBP, JPY. Maybe I can show you. Okay, so for example, I already pulled the charts up. So this is my GBP versus my GBP, JPY. So they are positively correlated because, as you can see from the charts, they move in tandem, meaning to say when my prices come down, it will come down. When my prices shoot up, it will go up. So this is somewhat positive because you can see there are some instances. Okay, this one is one instance that I highlight where my GJ actually spiked down, but my GU actually moved up. So when there is a correlation, it doesn't mean that it always have to move exactly the same. And the reason why there is a difference in, okay, you see, this is 2nd of August, right? The reason why, so the reason why there is a difference in, let me close this. There's a difference or a spike up or spike down or suddenly negatively correlated is usually by external forces and important announcements, etc., like your Fed rate hikes, your government cutting rates, etc. So it has to be a very major news for them to be so negatively correlated in a positively correlated relationship. Okay, so for this case, on the 2nd of August, you can see that JPY actually dropped because of the Fed official hinting that more rate hikes are coming. Okay, so there must be a major news that causes this. I actually Googled it, but I can't find it here. But yeah, it's because of big news like this. Yeah, dollar jump versus yen as Fed officials hint more rate. So yen actually dropped right here. Okay, so same goes to this. If you actually see a sudden movement up, but there is no movement in the other correlated pair, it must have meant something. Okay, there might be a major news, there might be big announcements, or something along the line. Okay, let me go back to my slides. Okay, so it can be within your FX pairs, the correlation, it be negative or positive. It can be across FX pairs, meaning it can be your AUD USD versus your AUD CAD. So across FX pairs or within FX pairs. And then it can also be across asset class, meaning it can be maybe an FX versus a commodity, for example. Maybe your XAU versus your DXY or USD or JPY, something like this. Okay, because actually gold is quite a common currency, common commodity that is often compared with other FX pairs. Okay, it can be within indices as well, meaning to say you can compare S&P versus your Asia or your Hang Seng index or your SPX. Okay, so it can be within indices as well, or it can be within sectors like your bank index versus banks. Okay, so there are many different types of correlation that we can look at. Even your even in crypto, for example, you can compare. In the past, Dogecoin, right, used to be very popular, and it's always correlated to this guy called Elon Musk and his tweets, right? So there's often correlation between a lot of things. It's just how we identify them and how we use them. to our advantage. Okay. Okay, so for example, here we have our GBP, JPY. Okay, actually it's here. Okay, here might be easier. GU versus my GJ. So you can see that they are they positive or negatively correlated? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, I see a lot of positive, correct? Okay, so these two currency pairs are positively correlated because they move in tandem, meaning to say when my prices come down, when my blue prices come down, my orange prices come down. When it moves up, they move together. Okay, so it's not identical, but they move in the same structure or in the same direction, unless there are major news that might change. Because the base currency is the same, right? There must be some form of similarity between them. So ultimately, you are just comparing USD and JPY. Okay, so unless there are major news in your USD or JPY, then most of the time it should move in tandem. Okay, so positively correlated because prices move in the same direction. Then we have our AUD USD versus our USD CAD. So from here, you can see that one price goes down, the other price goes up. So this is a negatively correlated currency pair. Okay, also because one is your front, one is your front pair, one is your back. Okay, so you can see one price actually comes down, the other goes up. So they move in the opposite direction. When this price comes down, this price goes up. Okay, it's very easily understandable. Okay, so this chart, you can see that AUD USD versus your USD CAD, they are negatively correlated. Then we have our SPX versus our Euro USD, which is often compared, right? So not only do we compare our FX pairs only, you can compare indices FX, you can compare commodities FX. So like I've mentioned, XAU, which is gold. So gold is a very common commodity that is compared to other FX pairs, right? So in this instance, you can see that my prices are going up. Okay, it's not so super correlated, but you can see that they react the same way to the market, right? So this is probably maybe a 0.6 to 0.7 correlation. It's not very, very correlated. So, oh, I forgot to mention as well. For correlation, there is -1, meaning not correlated at all. 0, 2, +1, meaning very correlated. So +1 is the maximum. -1 means not correlated at all. So in this case, you could give it maybe a 0.7, okay, because it's not very correlated. There's still very, the spaces are still quite huge. But if I'm going to compare this I would say is a 0.9 to 1 because our prices are very closely knitted, right? As you can see here. Okay, let's take a look at our gold, okay, versus our SPX. You also can compare indices versus your commodities. So orange being XAU, prices are moving in the opposite direction. As you can see, my prices are coming down, but prices of my SPX is going upward. So it reflects negative correlation. So this is probably a -1, right? because you can see it exactly moves in the opposite direction. Okay, so how do we actually use correlation to identify support and resistance? Does anyone know or have tried it before? Happy lips. Okay, I guess most of you haven't tried using correlation to identify support and resistance. Okay. So this is our AUD USD versus our GBP USD, right? So you can see if I put them together, they might be quite correlated, but not so, as you can see that. Wait, let me draw clearer. You can see this here. Right, the prices is like this, but my prices here goes up all the way, and then it comes here, tests a few times, comes up again. So it's not exactly very much similar if I were to put it overlapping each other, right? So I would say this is a 0.7 correlation, not exactly very strong, but it's still correlated. So you can still find you can still fine tune your position by finding the support and resistance of these two pairs, meaning to say, if they're actually still correlated, you can still find the same support as well as the same resistance in the chart. Okay, so for example, in my AUD USD 1-day chart, I clearly can see that this is my support, right? So this is clearly my support line here. So at this point in time, probably it should be the same date. I can also find my support here. So these two, the dates here versus here should be somewhat similar, or sometimes it might vary by maybe a few candles. But in general, if they are positively correlated, you can find the same support and resistance. So for example, when we are sending our analysis or our research papers to institutions or other corporates, we will let them know that, hey, you know, AUD USD is at a current support of which number, and then it should be similar to GBP USD at the support of what number, or 1.3688, and as well as the resistance. So we'll let them know, hey, you know, AUD USD is at the support of blah 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 XXX. Same goes to your support area of GBP USD at XXX, and then it should be the same as maybe your NZD USD. So what we are trying to say is that for positively correlated currency pairs, usually when they're at the support, the other currency pair should also be at their support level. Okay, this will later on help you to identify your breakout levels. Okay, I will show you guys later on. So when it comes to this, correlated pairs will show you exactly where the support is. So when the support is here, it should be at this level. When it's a resistance here, it also should be at its resistance level here, right? So when prices come to test once, twice, this time, the third time, you must be thinking, hey, should I be playing a reversal or should I be playing a breakout? You can actually come to a correlated chart or correlated currency pair to check it out. So 1, 2, 3. And then same thing, you see. So both of them are at a level where they are undecided whether you know, should the prices be going up or should the prices be in a reversal? So you know that the market hasn't decided yet. But if let's say on my AUD USD, my price actually came up to here, right? on this candle here, and maybe one more. Okay, so if my prices are on an upward momentum, but my GBP USD is still here, you know for sure that, hey, my prices might actually fly up the same as AUD USD. So this could be used as an indicator, as one of the indicator, not as the only indicator. So for example, if you have all your levels, all your trend lines, all your channels all in place, all you need is one more push or one more factor to actually help you make that trade more more profitable, right? Or make that trade more accurate. So in this sense, if you have all your flip levels, all your channels, maybe your Ichimoku, all your indicators are all in sync, right? So you just need that one more comparison between a correlated chart to tell you that, hey, actually I'm in a bullish momentum right now. Maybe I should buy at this price here. So this is how we use correlation to redefine or refine our trades, our trade positions. Okay. So using correlation to identify breakouts. So like I've mentioned in this chart, it will be the same. For example, XAU versus US dollar, you can see that they are very negatively correlated. So for negative correlation, always remember it will be a crocodile mouth when it's open. So it's always in the opposite direction. But if it's positive, it's always parallel. Okay. It's always the same direction. So in this chart, you can see that let me just grab a sip of water. My ulcer is very painful. So for example, we can see here that my prices have touched once, twice, 3 times. Here, at this level here, I'll be thinking, hey, should I be playing a breakout or should I actually wait for a reversal, right? So if you compare to your US dollar, which is negatively correlated, at this point in time, I can see that, hey, my prices are coming down. My prices actually plunged. So if it's negatively correlated, then I'll be thinking, okay, I have a confirmation that bullish momentum is for my goal, right? Let me repeat myself. So at this point in time, ignore this area. So let's say we are right here on this red line and prices of my goal actually spiked up, right? Okay, there's a breakout. But could it be a fake breakout, right? Because I wouldn't be able to see all this yet. Then I will wait for my confirmation on my USD. I will seek for reference. So for example, at this level here, it will be the same. All right. It will be the same here for this to be broken, for this level to be broken. So we are both at the same point waiting for prices to be broken. So once I have a upward confirmation of bullish momentum, I'll probably wait for my second candle for confirmation. This should be an downward trend. This should be an upward trend before I take any trade, because you wouldn't want to enter a trade on a false breakout, correct, on the first candle as well. So I'll wait. Okay, so there is a confirmation that my USD is dropping. So I would enter my gold maybe at this level here. At this level here. Or I could enter my, okay, this USD. So other USD pairs maybe at this level here for a downward bearish momentum. So this is what we meant by that's what we meant by using correlation to identify our breakouts. Okay. So when there's a breakout of the currency or that pair, you seek for confirmation or reference from another correlated or negatively correlated currency pairs to give you the extra confirmation before you enter a trade, right? Okay. Okay, now let us move to my live charts. I will show you what is negative or positive correlated. Okay, let's start with, okay, so this is my AUD USD versus my, I don't want this, sorry, NZD. Let me add. Okay, for this, as you can see, this is my AUD USD versus my NZD USD. So you can see that, let me try candles, see whether it's nicer. I think lines are clearer. Okay, so these two charts, as you can see here, they are very, very positively correlated because the prices are moving exactly the same steps as you can see, right? So this is one of the currency pairs that move exactly the same. So it's very, very strongly correlated. And I will give you a tip today. I'll give you guys a tip. I'll leave you guys with a tip today. If you guys want to know whether a currency pair versus commodity indices or another currency pair is correlated, just go to my FX book, correlation, select this, and this will be the page where you can find all your different currency pairs. This is like a cheat sheet that we found. So obviously there are so many currency pairs, right? You can't possibly remember who is correlated to what, unless it's major pairs like your DXY, your gold, your Aussie dollar, your Aussie, your Kiwi. These are the major pairs that you can remember off the finger of your tip, of the tip of your fingers or of your head. But if you're looking at all the currency pairs or maybe exotic pairs, or if it's a new currency pairs that you're recently exploring, you do not know whether they are correlated, you can come to this page here, select the time frame that you usually trade with, because for different time frames, it works differently. It might work in a one day, but it might not work if you zoom into a 30 minutes. Okay, so it's depending on which currency pairs and what time frame you actually are trading in. So usually we go higher time frame for hours. Find currencies with correlation higher than, for example, you want very correlated, so they will highlight for you. See, 96. Okay, let's take a look. 100%. This is interesting. Oh, okay, because it's the same pair. Okay, so you can come here, you can take a look. It's a very interesting site. If I'm not wrong, if you click in, they'll tell you which are top positive correlation and then top negative correlation. So you just have to focus here. Okay, so this is a cheat sheet that I will leave you guys with to explore, right? Come to my FX book and check it out. So for this pair, I'll just give you a couple of examples before we end the session today about correlation. So for my AUD versus my NZD, we can see that they are very, very correlated in the sense that they move in tandem and exactly the same. Okay, so what we can do here is, for example, should I remove one? Okay, maybe I remove. Give me 1 second. So for example, in this manner, okay, I'm looking for at this level here. We do not know whether there is a triple top or we are still looking at maybe price breaking the Ishimoku or breakout at this level to go on a bullish momentum, right? Since it has been on a decline for many weeks. But we do know that, you know, prices are on a downward trend, just that it broke out here. Okay, just let us place this here. Then let me add my NZD. Okay, so for this chart example, can see that price actually move very similarly. But what we can do is, for example, you look at this area here, price actually did spiked up a little bit, right? But you also realize that this is a fake breakout. If honestly you were to trade according, do not trade, what was I going to say? So at this point in time, we'll be thinking whether prices are gonna break out of this triple top, right, for both the currency pairs. So how you actually utilize positively correlated currency pairs is that we wait for confirmation from the other pair. For example, maybe prices will react faster at this area and it might come down first. Then we have a confirmation that, hey, you know, it's still a bearish momentum instead of this straight breakout, right? Because of it broke out of my descending trend and it might be going up. So this is what I thought here originally. But when I come to my NZD currency pair to reference, I don't see that, you know, prices are actually moving in a positive or in a bullish momentum. So I will wait for confirmation in any of the pair, depending on which pair you are buying or selling. Okay. Okay, let me give you guys another example. We use a negatively correlated pair then. Oops. Okay, so this is my USD Swiss franc. This is my NZD USD. You can see that they are negatively correlated, right? So same thing. My prices are at a triple top, for example. And then I can see that, hey, you know, my prices actually at this level, I'll be thinking, hey, is my price gonna break out, or is my price gonna form a triple top and come back downward, right? And we can see that right here. Where's my okay? So at this point, okay, we're thinking whether it break out, but prices actually move downward. So I'm expecting a slightly upward momentum, right? Same thing, right? But then it came down. So this is a fake breakout and then it came back down. So I'm expecting this price to actually go back up. Correct? Because at this level here, at this point here, my candle actually come down here. So if it's negatively correlated, I'm expecting price to actually go up here, which it did, but it was a fake breakout. So it came back down. Now I'm expecting price to slightly go up. All right, because it clearly failed to break this level or key resistance level here. So you can actually try to throw in other levels. For example, maybe your 23.6 Fibonacci levels, right? Your 23.6 Fib retracement levels. You can actually throw in to see whether there are any other important indicators as well. So it's not just purely using correlation to actually trade, but it acts as a indicator for you to redefine or to make your trade more accurate. Okay. So I hope that I'm clear in explaining today's session. I've seen that some of you has just joined the session. but we have come to the end of the session because we have other webinars to host. If you missed today's session, this session is recorded. You can actually go to the website, IronFX. Let me just paste again. Yeah. All these sessions are recorded. You can go to webinars, which is here. Past webinars. Here. Let me cut and paste again. For those who have missed the past 50 minutes of the session, I have come to the end already. Okay, this will be the page. If you want to view today's session, click on English, and then there will be all the past webinars that we have recorded, and it should be here. So for today's session, if you missed it, it should be uploaded by end of this week, or maybe latest by next week, early next week. Okay, so today's session, we are talking about correlation to help you identify, or as an indicator to add on to your other indicators for a more accurate or more defined trade entry or exit. Okay, so I hope today's session is useful and understandable. Sorry if I speak too slowly because I have an ulcer. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you guys next week. Bye.